Morning. Welcome to another live trading session. It's July 29th, and Nick's pretty much going to get right into it today, starting with DXY. As always, a lot of good movement right now in the market.
Yeah, market's looking pretty good, guys. So I'm just going to share up here. Let me share. And then, so yeah, today's Wednesday, guys. This is our second live trading session of the week. We got one more tomorrow. Same exact time. Happy to have you guys here. Happy to see you guys tuning in every day and going over this analysis with us. So let's go ahead, jump over to a chart. All right, you guys can see my chart here. All right, cool. So as you guys know, for some of you veterans who have been here through these live trading sessions, you guys know that we always start off on DXY. And for the new people that are here, we start on DXY because it's the reserve currency of the world. It makes up for 80% of all trades. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of, jump onto this chart, analyze it on both, higher time frame and lower time frame to see kind of what's going on and where, the trend is, where most of the movement's happening. And it just pretty much gives us a good gauge as to where the rest of the market's moving. Because again, it makes up for 80% of all trades. So a lot of pairs do move relatively to, DXY movement, US dollar movement. Okay, so here we are on the daily time frame. So basically what I want to do on this time frame is just identify sentiment, take a look at the trend, see if anything's changed, see if we're getting, if we're still with the trend or if we see some sort of transition happening. So if we just look to the left, I'm looking at this piece of price action here, just with what is within the view. And we can clearly see this is mostly bullish, right? Higher lows, higher highs, definitely more bullish than anything else. But there is a significant zone that I want to bring your attention to, and that's this monthly. So we were bullish until this monthly was broken. These are where the lowest points of these higher lows came to. This one is specifically here, Corona, and then these two back here. So it really solidified this level as, key support. And as long as price action was above it, we are generally bullish. And as we see price action starting to dip below it, this could be the start of a major daily transition. So from a bullish trend to a bearish trend on this daily time frame. So this is pretty significant. This is something that we want to be aware of. This is something that we want to bring to our attention because it could definitely move some of the other pairs and start to form some sort of trend transition on other pairs. So it's good that we're identifying this. We can see this monthly is being broken. We are in the daily time frame here because we aren't near any sort of lower time frame structure yet. We can see that this is a large daily move, is a pretty large bearish leg to the downside. We need to see structure form on this time frame before we can start dropping time frames and looking for more lower time frame structure formation and potential opportunities, trade opportunities. So we definitely want to see this either continue down a little more and then pull back, or pull back now and give us some sort of confirmed lower high at this 95 zone. 95 flat zone, which is our monthly. Okay, so basically this blue trade path is with this overall sentiment. We can see this is a 4-hour trend that's definitely bearish. So we want to see this transition happen right here. Okay, so this would be nice to see. This is the favoring trade in blue, and of course we play both sides of the market. We want to be prepared for either scenario, both bullish and bearish options. So this orange trade path is the secondary. If price action goes bullish, we need to get above 96.5, some sort of higher low above that, and then I'll consider this going back into this range, and this is now continuing with a bullish trend. Okay, but for now we are definitely more bearish than anything else, as we just broke this monthly and are now waiting for some sort of confirmed lower high and continuation to the downside. But it's not looking good for DXY. The US dollar has definitely been melting in value recently. Okay, so that's DXY. We can now move on to, some currency pairs, starting off with AUD USD. Very similar like we just did on DXY. I want to go to the daily time frame, get an overall, idea of the trend, see if anything's changed, or if we could potentially be seeing a transition. So we can see here that this has been primarily bearish, lower lows, lower highs, huge lower low over here as Corona kind of priced it in. And the most significant zone, I would say, for supporting this bearish trend would be this monthly zone right here, right? We have lower high here, lots of rejection. This is definitely the most major zone. We want to see these. If this is going to go bullish, we need to see this monthly zone break, and then we start trending higher. Okay. So let's go to the 4-hour for a second. So overall, the daily is very bearish, but on the 4-hour here, we can see that we're bullish. Very strong bullish trend on this 4-hour time frame. Okay, keeps surging higher. Price action rallied up to this monthly, which is that significant zone we just talked about. Rejected, came back down, consolidated for a little bit, and then kind of started forming this ascending channel. Got a little bit of ranging here, finally broke to the upside. And then we saw a break of our monthly as well. So this monthly zone was broken, that significant zone we talked about. So this could be the start of a daily transition from bears to bulls. And we're capturing that now on the 4-hour time frame. So we saw a push to the upside. Here's that break, came back, retested, confirmed this higher low. Lots of exhaustion, lots of bullish variations, MA crosses as well, breaks of structure. So there's lots here supporting that this is a confirmed break and retest, confirmed higher low. But we want to see this kind of continue higher. We want to see more volume step in. Currently, we're at a lower time frame supply zone. That's what this yellow zone is here. We're seeing a little bit of rejection from there. Every time price action gets there, you get these wicks, good amount of rejection. But it is a lower time frame zone, so we're just expecting this to break, waiting for this to break, and then we'll have even more confidence that this trade is going to continue higher. So this is actually one of the trades that I put out this week. We entered here. We're up quite a bit right now, 26 pips. I think our max was, what was it? Max was 50 or so, came back down. Now we're, plus 26. Not a problem though. Again, we're just waiting for this zone to break, waiting for more confirmations to continue to the upside. So this trade's looking pretty good so far. Everything is kind of pointing to the upside, bullish pressure only. And we're looking to get 210 pips, risking 85 pips. So this is almost a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward, 2.5 to 1 risk to reward. So this is a really great trade. All right, so yeah, waiting for this to continue. If you did want to enter on this, you would essentially just want to wait for a break of the supply zone, break and retest, or wait for some sort of deeper pullback where you can enter on another higher low, or enter based on structure if you see the right confirmations and so on. But yes, this is an active trade. We put this out in our community and premium signals right over here. Okay, so let's keep going. That is AUD USD. Next, we got AJ. This one's looking really good. It's definitely setting up to be something nice. I'll cover this in a second on this lower time frame. First, we want to go to the daily. Same exact thing we just did on DXY and AU. We want to get an overall look of the trend, see if anything's changed. So significantly bearish here on this daily time frame. Very, very, very healthy, strong, bearish channel here. So clearly bearish. This is our prior lower high right at this monthly zone. Here was that Corona spike, and now the retrace is happening, which is resulting pretty much in a strong 4-hour bullish trend. But we are still pretty much right at this monthly zone. So let's go to the 4-hour and get an idea of what this is looking like. Okay, so this is that monthly zone, that last level of daily resistance before we consider it a daily bullish trend. So we want to see this monthly break. Here was that huge rally to that zone, nice head and shoulders pattern. It dropped and then gave us this ascending triangle pattern, right? And key resistance was at 75 flat. We saw it reject there multiple times. Finally broke, pushed up to test this monthly zone once again, rejected, came back down, and now we're pretty much just consolidating right at that 75 handle, kind of confirming it as support. So there's really only two ways that this could play out. Either we get a break to the upside or we get a break to the downside. And let's go ahead and mark out both of these scenarios. Put this over here. Okay, so this needs to go, oops, 1 second. Okay, good. All right, cool. So essentially, we want to see, we are going to favor a, bullish trade opportunity first. Everything here is pretty much hinting at a bullish trend. We're going to trade with the trend. We have a nice fib level here. So everything here is, kind of favoring a long trade opportunity. So essentially we want to see this. Let's say a break of this little box pattern, higher low, testing a support, and then a continuation. In which case we'll be looking for some sort of entry here on the continuation setup. So a nice bullish engulfing. We want to see a break of this box pattern, quick pullback, confirmed higher low on a lower time frame, and then enter on bullish setups like bullish variation, bullish engulfing, morning star, seller's exhaustion, something like that, where I just drew this box. And this would be a nice entry that, and we could target higher. So we'd be risking 65 pips, hoping to get 130, 2-to-1 risk to reward, pretty textbook. And now it just comes down to waiting for the right confirmations. Okay, so that's the bullish opportunity. We always want to highlight both examples. So in order to go bearish, we need to see a break of 75 flat, quick retest, confirm lower high, and then we can target lower. And you would enter somewhere on this lower high on bearish setups. So bearish variations, evening stars, bearish engulfing, buyer's exhaustion. Okay, so this is basically just how this will play out. Very close to some sort of play here. Just need to see a break of this box pattern. Okay, so I'll put this out in premium analysis for you guys, and pretty much just going to stalk this and wait for this to play out. We do have a little lower time frame break here. It looks like bullish engulfing through the MAs, retested, a little bit of exhaustion. Let's go to the 1 hour for a second. But yeah, guys, just stay in the Discord. I'll be posting all updates, and as trades get closer to execution, of course, we'll be posting charts and updates with those as well. So yeah, we still need to see a little more conviction, a little more confirmation, because we do have some fake opportunities that have presented themselves already. I really want to see significant closure above this 200 EMA, at least on this 1 hour, before we get it the right setups that we want to see, the confirmation that we want to see. All right, so that's AJ. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm happy with it. We're seeing a bit of volume right now. So we'll see how this plays out in the next hour or so. All right, so that's AJ. Let's go to UJ now. Daily time frame, same thing. Let's zoom out, get an idea of the overall trend if anything has changed. So the main thing going on here is this giant descending triangle, right? Key support right around 106 flat. We keep getting lower lows, lower lows. Price action is just kind of squeezing and narrowing to this point over here. So let's go right to the 4 hour. We have a good understanding that this is very much bearish, and that the key zone 106 is pretty much where we're at now. So very bearish overall in the daily, but we can see here on the 4 hour, we've been ranging between 109.25 and 106. Lots of bouncing happening, right? But recently we did see that this is a confirmed lower high, a nice fib level. So this is kind of, a 1 hour trend in this 4 hour, time frame view. So very, very much bearish. Nice ascending triangle here as well. Break of minor support 107.35. Got some ranging here, and then another lower high, and that was the conviction that pushed us to the downside out of this range, right? So this kind of fell off straight through our monthly, and then obviously below. So right now we are in a pretty extended bearish leg here. So let's go ahead and adjust everything, because we want to. There's no real trade opportunity here yet. We're clearly below the MAs. We haven't pulled back at all. As far as this leg goes, we haven't formed any sort of structure, and we did see the monthly break. So it'd be pretty nice to see structure form before we get a little anxious and make our next move. So we're just going to wait, and I'm going to highlight these areas as to where we could potentially be taking entries if we do see this pullback. Okay. So for the short term, this is the 61.8 fib level. It's one of our golden zones. We could expect price action to pull back to there before slowing down and giving us some sort of bearish setups, bearish confirmations that it's going to continue to the downside. So again, 61.8 and 38.2, these are our golden levels. We essentially want to see something like this. Some sort of pullback through the MAs, consolidation, reverse at a golden level, and then give us some sort of bearish, confirmation setup. So there, or like this, right? 61.8 or 38.2. Okay. And then you'd be looking for entries pretty much, where'd it go? Pretty much here as we get a reversal, lower time frame transition, some sort of, strong bearish setups. Again, those evening stars, bearish engulfings. Looking for entry somewhere in there where those boxes are. Okay, as we see this start to curve back down, start to reverse, and continue with the overall trend. Because this is a healthy market. A healthy market is not one that just moves in one single direction. It moves in waves. So you want to see a nice significant push, nice pullback, nice significant push, and pullback, and so on and so on. Okay, so we'll be looking to enter on these lower highs as they form. But for now, we got to wait again. It's a 4 hour time frame, so probably a couple days on this, or a day or two. Okay, so we'll see. That's UJ, guys. Looking pretty good. I mean, we did have some, like, this is a large move. We did see a lot of large moves on USD pairs, so we could be in for a little bit of consolidation. So things could be slowing down, but either way, we'll see, and kind of just analyze price action and see what the market tells us. All right, so let's go to the next one. On to EJ here. Daily time frame first. Zoom out. See if anything's changed. Primarily bearish, very, very bearish. This is actually one of the largest swings in terms of these legs. 1,000 pip swing, 1,400 pip swing, even this smaller swing over here before it broke out, almost 650 pips. So pretty crazy. Good movement in EJ. One of the most out of all the pairs for sure. All right, so we know that's primarily bearish, right? We did see a break of this bearish channel. We saw some lower highs erased, but the most significant one is pretty much this one right here. I think these two, this huge zone right at 122.75, that they also were broken as well. But this whole area is important. There's a lot going on here. This is key support at 121.250. That's our weekly. We kind of have a zone splitting this range here, like we just covered, 122.75. That's structure from over here. And then we also have this supply zone. So this supply zone, I drew it all the way back here because it's kind of like this was structure over here, and then it became a supply zone over here. So this whole zone just has a lot of significance. There's a lot of reaction from price action that's going on here, both in the past, historical data. It's been bouncing here significantly, lots of support, finally broke, tested as resistance, came back down, and then it, rejected over here, formed this kind of supply zone. We could see that there's tons of orders just sitting at this level, right around 124. So this is a very significant area, and how price action trends within this range is going to give us pretty much the idea of where it's going to go. So let's go to the 4 hour for a second, and I'll further explain what we're looking at. So 4 hour time frame is very, very bullish, as we can see. This was that zone that price action kind of surged up to here. See how fast it came up and then whipped off of it. So orders were filled immediately and then dropped the price action, came down to this the upper trend line of that bearish channel in the daily time frame, rejected, and then started forming this pretty healthy, bullish trend here on this 4 hour time frame, and it's looking good. But I do want to see some sort of pullback and then a continuation higher. So I honestly want to see a higher low down here, closer to 121.25, a nice pullback through the MAs, some consolidation, maybe a pattern or so, and then a nice continuation to the upside. That would be confirmed by bullish setups, and of course that higher low that we just talked about. So this would be super ideal, but it is possible that we see, that we see it just break the supply zone. So something like this. This would be more of just a price action kind of trade. It would be a very high confidence trade where you're just entering on a higher low after a zone's been broken. This is not ideal, but this could be a possible scenario. The most ideal trade path would be this blue arrow here. Okay, we definitely want to see it pull back, hit a level, form that higher low, continue higher. Okay, so that's that blue trade path. But let's talk about sell opportunities for a second. What do we need to see for this to then go bearish? For us to then enter on the beginning of a bearish trend? We need to see a transition essentially, and that would take place right at 121.25, where we'd break lower, we raise some higher lows, get some sort of confirmed lower high, and then enter on those bearish setups targeting lower. So that's simply all we need to see for a bearish scenario, is just a 4 hour time frame transition, break of this support, retest, confirm lower high, and then we're short. Okay, so this is EJ. Again, this is quite a ways from any sort of trade opportunity too. Probably a few days, maybe even next week. We'll see though. Okay, that's EJ. If this does pull back, let's go over this trade scenario real quick. If this does pull back and confirm this higher low, maybe it wicks to the downside a little bit, you could adjust your stop loss just outside that higher low, protecting yourself. But as long as it's below this weekly support, you're good. Even if you did 100 pips stop loss, we're looking to get over 500. Again, EJ does move a lot, so this isn't like super abnormal. But this would be a 5-to-1 risk reward. So that means you would risk 1% to get 5%, or you'd risk 2% to get 10%, which is absolutely huge. This is a crazy risk reward. So if this does pull back and present that trade opportunity, it'll definitely be a good one, a really good one. Okay, so that's EJ. Let's move on to gold for a second. I always like covering gold. This thing is just insane. Let's go to the daily, see if anything's changed. And it hasn't. We're just bullish as hell, more bullish than ever. And there's real no sign of bears yet, at least on this time frame. So let's go to the 4-hour, zone in on current price action. All right, so this was that huge rally. We saw this was that consolidation we were stalking for weeks and weeks and weeks, waiting for that push to 1800. Finally saw it. Nice transition here. Good structure formation. Price action pushed up to 1800, broke it, and then consolidated right above it. So it immediately turned into significant support, as you can see. And then classic box pattern. Broke, retested. Little retest going on in here, as you guys can see. I'll zoom in a little more even. So this was a price action trade, right? It didn't form structure. It didn't pull back deep enough. It was just, this was a confidence price action trade. Broke out of the pattern, quick little retest, and then continued higher on some bullish setups. Some nice bullish variations there. Okay, and then this thing just rallied. It rallied straight, almost to 2000. It rallied straight to 1980. Came back down to about 1900 area almost. And now we're kind of somewhere in the middle, 1950. But again, no structures formed. So the MAs are just holding and holding. We ideally want to see some sort of structure form. And by structure, I mean a golden fib level hit. Either right at our weekly at 61.8 or up here at 38.2. Because again, guys, we want to get in on high probability trades. If you're taking any sort of trade up here around 1950, there's just more risk. There's just more unnecessary risk that could be avoided if you just wait. Just wait for a great setup, and patience. Patience gets rewarded. So essentially, this is where to go. Here it is. We want to see this again. Pull back to a fib level, 38.2 and or 61.8. And then target higher. And of course, we're not just going to enter as soon as it gets there. You want to see some sort of consolidation, confirmed higher low, maybe a pattern or something, and then obviously those, conviction setups, bullish engulfings, the bullish variations, sellers exhaustion, warning stars, and so on. Okay, so not much really going on with gold right now. This is pretty much just a waiting game, but there are going to be some huge opportunities if we do see these pullbacks. Okay, huge opportunities. And of course, we'll be covering all of these analyses in premium analysis, which we'll be posting in Discord. All right, guys. So quick recap: DXY. We covered DXY. We covered AU. We covered AJ. We covered UJ. Covered EJ and gold. And for today, the two you guys should be looking at more specifically is AU and AJ, because these are the closest from entries or trade opportunities. Again, we're already long on AU. But AJ's, setting up pretty nicely. Just gonna wait on that box pattern, much like we just saw in gold, right? Little box pattern, waiting for that break and retest, and get that continuation. All right, so I'm gonna pass this off to Angelo, and he's gonna cover some more majors for you guys. All right, in a second.
Good job, good job. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at more of the major pairs. If you guys have any questions on what Nick just went over, feel free to write into the chat. Obviously, just went over, a whole lot there.
Yeah, there was a good amount there.
We're going to get started. Like Nick referenced, we got this premium analysis. Whenever we're getting ready to enter trades, and this builds right off of the live session, we'll put the lower time frame analysis in the chat right here. So yesterday we talked about GJ going long, and we dropped the analysis in the chat. We'll look at GJ in a second. And then we also looked at a few different opportunities, including USEF, which we'll look at in a second, EU, UCAD. Boom. So we got our trade paths there. And then also, again, we've been stalking GJ for a little while. Nick's been stalking AJ. So this just kind of builds off of these live sessions. It's only $7. If you guys want to get in on that, you just come into start here. It's right here, $7. So yeah, let's get back over to the
Brian. Really
so,
good.
One question, GJ looking strong. Yeah, GJ is definitely looking strong right now. First time here with the box pattern. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. The rectangle pattern's the same.
Yeah, it's box pattern, rectangle pattern. Yeah, no problem. It's a really useful tool. It just helps visualize, pre-breakout. So you're pretty much just isolating an area, waiting for that break and retest.
Yep. So
But yeah, very helpful.
going into this week, we talked about on the Sunday market blitz, we mentioned GU pushing up into at least this weekly level. More importantly, this upper supply zone up here. We're overall in a downtrend, but we're trying to make our way up to where previously a lot of sellers were at. So as I start to come down to the daily, we marked off, this is like a 4-hour supply zone all the way up here. So I'm really looking for price, because of how bullish it's been, to come all the way up into this area, to push all the way up to like 1.30400 level. Right now we're getting a lot of bullish volume. We've got a little signal out on GU right now, and we'll go over in a second why we entered and where we entered and everything like that. But obviously in the 4-hour, it's been bullish. We went over this ever since this broke. This has been bullish on the 4-hour time frame. Broke, made this high, pulled back, made this high or low, retested this high, came back, made this high or low, and then same situation here. We actually had a little bit of an ascending triangle go on the lower time frame. Boom, and then this thing continued higher. And then the same thing, we had our entry right in this area. So let's break this down to the lower time frame. So I was looking at the lower time frame and textbook flag pattern breakout overnight. Yeah, this is definitely flag. But on this lower time frame, all I was looking for at this point was we were in a very strong trend. Blue over red maintained the entire time. We had this pullback. I knew on the higher time frames, on the 1-hour, on the 4-hour, on the daily, that we were very bullish. We were just waiting to see whether buyers were going to step in. Had this nice bullish engulfing candle, followed that up with another bullish engulfing candle. So that's just 2 confirmations in a row, again, on this time frame. Had the first one through the moving average, and then this one just confirmed it for me, confirmed that this was definitely a lot of buyers in the market, took this trade right on this candle. And, now we've been riding this up. We're up about 80 pips, So right now we moved stops to right around this area. We're going to maintain them. Got stops into some profit right now, about 20 pips in profit. And then as this thing continues higher, we'll consider to close some of the profits or, continue to maintain the order. So this is GU, no entries at the moment. Right now we're playing around this weekly level. So a lot of volume is going to come in again at this level. There's going to be a lot of volume coming in at this weekly level. This line is here for a reason. Previously the market retested this area in, support, resistance, support, resistance, obviously fell off pretty dramatically previously from this area. So definitely a lot of volume. Yeah, no, close some profits also means like close partial lot size, close partial position. But as always in the signals, we will tell you guys what to do. We're continuing to maintain the trades, and, you guys shouldn't at any point feel like you need to really do anything, because we're going to update you based on what we're doing in the market. So just stay patient in the signals chat. But for now, this thing's looking pretty good, finding some consolidation here, which is fine. If we can get some more buyers right at this level, I think this thing could continue to shoot higher, which would be
also nice. Another thing today is to make you guys aware is that there's a Fed decision at 1 o'clock. It is expected to be unchanged, but could have some short-term volatility in the market. Okay, so that's USD Fed decision. Just be aware of that around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So obviously we know the fundamentals, it's not looking good for the US dollar. So we could see some more, dollar weakness in the short term, speculatively driven anyway for today. So just be aware of that.
Right, yeah. So over at DXY, like Nick said, this thing has been bearish for a minute. I know a lot of people are trying to predict that it's about to shoot up from this level, very overextended. We're right below a monthly resistance level, monthly key level. And again, these key levels are here for a reason. Look, previously we found resistance, support, resistance right here, support, support, support all along this area, a lot of support. So whenever price has been in this area, we have either rejected it or we have found support in this area. So there's going to be a ton of volume, whether this thing continues to push a little bit lower, which would be great because then all these pairs would fly, in the direction against USD, or it continues to consolidate here a little bit more. Regardless, until we get even a minor break of structure on the 1 hour time frame, we're bearish on this. This 1 hour trend has been maintained for the whole duration of this entire move. The 1 hour trend has been maintained, made lower lows, pulled back, made this lower high, made this lower high here, lower low, came all the way down, lower high here, lower low, all the way down, lower high here, boom, pull back, lower high, and then this is the lower high that we're focusing on now, is right here. This is the level that needs to break. Like previously, we could come up, retest this area, find rejection, and dump off. Right now, keep it in mind, we're in a little bit of a retracement right now. We're in a little bit of a retracement right now, but we're, in profits in all these pairs. So if this thing rejects and pushes lower, all these pairs are going to start to fly, in the direction towards where our targets are.
Right. GU, AU, EU, all the majors for the most part.
Yeah. So let's bump over to UCAD. This is a little trade that we got into. We're actually finding some support at this daily level right now. So we're gonna make a decision on how to maintain this in a second. All the way to the weekly time frame, I want to start here. The trend is bullish. The trend had been bullish, pulled back. Now we're pulling back. Originally, we were looking to get into this zone where we have support in this trend line. We're kind of falling into this zone right now, all the way down to the daily time frame. Look previously how it reacted to this red zone, grabbed a ton of buyers and flew to the upside. So we're coming right back into that area now. And we had this minor bullish candle form, all the way down to the 4 hour. We're slowing up a lot, in this area. 4 hour is still bearish though. We're still below the moving averages. And then as we get down to the 1 hour time frame, previously we were looking to monitor this level. And again, this was the premium analysis that we put out. This is UCAD. So we were looking for one of two opportunities, either this pullback, rejection, or break, retest, entry. We got our rejection, entered on a little short opportunity. Now we're consolidating a bit. Pretty much, this is what I'm looking for on UCAD. We're in this trade right now. We're right near break even. I moved our stops up right to this level. So we can actually move this up to right here. And the thinking behind that is, this 30-minute trend is bearish, had this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then we came down, formed this higher low, form this lower high. So unless this is broken, this 30-minute trend is still bearish. I'm going to delete this, clean this up. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is what we're monitoring. Whether you want to hold into this level or you want to close right now, is up to you. We're gonna just stick to structure. I do think this thing could continue to fall out. It's kind of just consolidating right now, and it could just break out here depending on what DXY does as well. And if we bump up to the 1 hour, on the 1 hour time frame, where our stops were before, we could be more conservative or be less conservative, more aggressive, and we can keep stops above this level. This is 1 hour structure. That's what really needs to be broken on the 1 hour. So basically what I'm getting at is price could come into this area. It previously rejected it. A lot of sellers came in. The same thing could happen. Could come here. A lot of sellers could jump in, push it. Same thing here. Come up here. Sellers come in, push the market. A lot of selling orders. So that's what we're seeing with UCAD right now. Potential re-entries, if we do get them, would be, again, similar to this. It would be coming up back into this zone. Let's get a little bars pattern here. Boom. Coming up into this zone, seeing some rejection, and then falling off. that is the move that we're looking, we are anticipating at the moment. So we will, based on how respect structure there, we'll be patient. So let's go over now to EU. Let's bump up all the way up to the weekly time frame. So EU is obviously very overextended right now, had this huge bullish run. Now we're finding some rejection. We're up at this weekly level right now. Weekly key level previously, obviously a lot of rejection here on both sides, either went long or went really short. So we're about to get a ton of volume at this level. All the way down to the daily, we're getting a little bit of, rejection now. Had this daily bearish and gold or bearish candle form, spinning top. Obviously that's normally signs of reversal, but as I go down time frames, 4-hour time frame, still very bullish, blue over red, and then down to the 1-hour time frame, again, still very bullish here. We've got let's just look at structure. We've got some highs, higher low, retest of the high, higher low here, higher high, higher low here, higher high, higher low. Now we're all the way up now at this level. We just formed this higher low, just pushed north, and now we're pulling back. So let's put together, 2 potential trade opportunities would be if we were to break this 1-hour level, we can go short on this, or if we come down into this 1-hour, retest this bottom right here, find support back through the moving average, this thing will most likely continue to fly to the upside. So this is 2 trade opportunities on EU. Again, yesterday, very similar. We were looking at this level as a very minor level that could break. Obviously there we found support. We came up. So now we're looking at the same thing. This would be a nice confirmation for us if we like double bottom at this level, essentially like triple bottom here, find some support, and then get back long on this pair. So again, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. Today's gonna be I feel like a lot of movement today, or at least we're gonna get a lot of confirmation on what on where the market's gonna go. So it's gonna be an interesting day for sure. Let's bump over now to USEF. Yesterday while we were on the live session, we were falling out. We couldn't enter. We had to wait for some sort of pullback. We got some sort of pullback here. This is all the way on the 1-hour time frame. If we were to enter here, 200 pips, we went into profit about like 1.5 reward. So, if we did enter that, could have been a decent entry opportunity on this. Had this little flag pattern forming, and then we fell through. Could have entered really on this or on this in this area right here, just this rejection. And then obviously now we're in this pullback. So let's go up to the weekly time frame and see what's going on, all the way up to the monthly. So monthly time frame, I've got this random line here. So yeah, there's news coming in at 1 p.m.
Yep.
So right. I've got this random line here. Let's look at this for a second down to the weekly. So look how this has been respected previously. I'm not trying to anticipate any sort of move, but we've got support, resistance, support, 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 support. So right now we are back at this level. We're rejecting this level. If I start to go down to the daily time frame, everything's obviously bearish. These candles are slowing up, signs of reversal. And then as I come all the way down to the 1-hour time frame, I just want to look back. Let's go back to this area right here. Let's come down to the 1-hour. So previously we went down, tapped this level, and then accelerated, all the way to the upside, eventually breaking 1-hour structure pretty much right here. So we broke this level right here, and this thing continued to be bullish. And then, so that was on the daily time frame, the first time that we tapped this level all the way back here. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So all the way back here, right here, that's what we were just looking at. And I like to do this, look at previous, situations that look similar to where we're at now. Now we're, we can look at this area. So let's go back down to the 1-hour. And, much of the same thing. We tapped this level and then we started to go bullish. We started to break structure pretty much right as this was breaking. Right here, we had these lower highs form right here and then right here, and then it broke, pulled back, buying opportunity, and then this thing started to go, more to the upside. So we've got to be cautious right now with USD CHF, what we're going to do on this pair and everything like that. Let's take this off. On this 1 hour time frame, we have a solid level right now, solid level of structure on the 1 hour. So unlike those previous areas, this thing was very bearish. Then it pulled back, consolidated a little bit, and formed a 1 hour structure level. So pretty much what we're looking at here is, to go long, we need to break this level, and then we need to find support. Just like this. And I'm sticking to the 1 hour because of how we're basing this on the weekly, weekly support level, daily candlestick analysis. So I'm sticking all the way up on this time frame. And then on the flip side, more short opportunities could come if we simply just come up into this level up here, and we have some rejection, very similar to this, come up, form another lower high, then we can get short on this. So we're going to get a decision on this pretty much right now at this level. We're going to see, all these USD pairs, all these USD pairs right now, we're going to see where they're going to move pretty much in a second here. So let's go.
Next 2 hours. Absolutely.
Let's go over to NZD, USD. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. Again, weekly time frame, all these pairs are in some weekly confluence zones. This is a weekly bearish confluence zone, supply zone on the weekly time frame. Could this potentially form a lower high, or is this going to push higher? We've just got to be patient. I'm looking all the way down to the 4 hour time frame, and this is still remains constant. Is on the 4 hour, we're not going to short until this is broken. This is a higher low. So previously we had this higher high form, pulled back, made this higher low, pulled back again, made this higher low. Then this new high formed, another higher low, being formed right there. And we're looking for one of two things now. We're either looking to find support here and go to the upside, or we're looking to break lower and go short. So if I come down to the 30-minute, what does that mean? All the way on the 30-minute time frame on NZD USD. So basically, I'm not even going to be on the 30-minute. I'm just going to stick to the 4 hour, but very similar to back here is we had this, we were down in this zone, in this area, on the 30-minute time frame. Let's bump back up to the 4 hour. So this was that potential higher low that was forming. Let's just highlight this, go to a lower time frame, break it down, see where the opportunities could have potentially been. So all the way down into this area, we had this low form, this pullback, minor structure level, low form, pullback, major structure level, lower high, pullback. Then we had this minor level here, started to make, lower highs, and then inevitably this was broken right there. That was that bullish engulfing candle. And then we had, this opportunity to long right here. We could have put stops above this level, throw this into some profits. We wouldn't have gotten to our targets, but just putting together, where the potential opportunities could have been. Like Nick talks about, we're only going to enter on higher lows. Only enter on higher lows, all the time. This breakout, potentially could we have entered on the breakout right here? Yeah, if you're looking at it more closely, that's just a different style of entry. But just to be safe, you want to enter on higher lows. That gives yourself a nice opportunity, put stops below the higher low, and get your stops a little bit tighter, and then use the higher time frame to continue to look for your targets. So on NZD USD, we're going to wait, see what happens on the 4 hour. If we get a bullish engulfing on the 4 hour, all that's going to tell us, guys, is that on the lower time frame, there's a break of structure. Then we'll bump to the lower time frame, look at that, and that's pretty much it. Last but not least, let's go over to GJ. This one was a pretty simple trade right here. Basically, On the weekly time frame, we've been bearish, but obviously a lot of bullish volume. We're right above this weekly level, this weekly key level right here. Daily time frame is bullish, so we broke resistance, made a new high, pulled back, made this higher low, blue over reds being maintained. And now I was just looking at this trend, and I was also looking on the daily, like look previously. We had this pullback, a lot of dojis, then we had this pullback, a lot of wicks right here. Then down to the 4-hour, we had 4-hour trend. We had these higher lows form all in this area. We went over these yesterday. And, we basically called out this yesterday in the live session. And then we had this pullback and this huge 4-hour engulfing. That's what was dropped in the premium analysis, was this huge 4-hour engulfing right there. That's what we basically entered on. We entered, I entered right here a little bit early just because the volume was crazy and I knew we were above this level. But, if we wanted to be more patient, we could have entered somewhere in this area once these levels started to break, basically either this candle right here, despite this wick, we would have been really close looking at this area. But there was a lot of conviction here. This 4-hour break and retest of this blue zone was pretty serious. And, as you can see, this is just trending on the 30-minute now, making higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. So now we're back. We're at this high. We're going to maintain this, might move stops to break even at this point, put it a little bit into profit because we are, I think at one point we were up like about 50 pips or so, 43 pips now, stops are at 57 pips. So we'll see. I do think this thing still has room to continue to go to the upside. Definitely a lot of volume kicking in right now. So we'll see on this. So that's the last pair, that we're going over for the live session. Just to recap, let's go back to the majors. I went over GU, UCAD, EU, USEF, NU, and GJ. The trades I'm currently in, GU and UCAD, which are both in the signal room, and then GJ, which isn't in the signal room, but we've been following this pretty closely. We already had a bunch of trades out, so we didn't put this one out too. But yeah, this one's running pretty well. So we're going to update this premium analysis today. And for you guys, we have this little deal going on right now, lifetime membership. There's 3 spots left now. So if you guys are interested in getting involved in this, just shoot me a message after this. It's 40% off right now. You're going to get the full course. You're going to get signals, one-on-ones, weekly webinars, everything to expand on these live sessions. So if you guys are beginner, intermediate, if you guys want to just join the Forex League team, no bonus pair today. Yeah, no bonus pair today with US 30. But I will say I'm going to add US 30 next week into the mix. And, I'll do some testing with it this weekend. And we'll try to get some, maybe some US 30 calls out there. We'll try to stick to, like we talked about, the monthly time frame, how it was so bullish. We'll try to stick to just buying on US 30. So, we'll see about US 30 next week, but definitely going to be in the free analysis. But yeah, if you guys want to get in on this discount, it's 40% off, 3 spots left. You just shoot me a message after this call, and we'll get you guys involved in there. So it's been another live trading session. It's been fun. We're going to have another one tomorrow at the new time, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Exactly. So tomorrow's the last one of the week, and enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Happy trading.
Yep. Peace.